Well, it ain't really noise, right? It's rock and roll. It's heavy metal. Raise your horns, man. What's up? Talking with myself, music fans. Ed here. I want to tell you a little thing right quick about this Sam Bam number 2 of 4. We talked about a while back the Sam Bam 4-pack. So this is the Faster Pussycat section. And, you know, back in March of 2021, I was trying to get Speak Your Mind as a podcast, doing the music thing. And I need to get some interviews done and have something to work with. And Sam Bam did that for me. Sam Bam gave me an interview. It was for Speak Your Mind, going to be the podcast, but the podcast never really happened. And it just kind of floated on. So here we are now talking with myself. That's what we're doing now. So yeah, March of 2021, I did a Zoom call with Sam Bam, talked about a lot of stuff, including Faster Pussycat. So this is the Faster Pussycat section from that first 3-part interview I did with Sam Bam. Great stuff, and you get to hear stuff right from Sam directly. And going to throw in some videos, a couple of Faster Pussycat live. So lots of good stuff right here on Talking with Myself. Before we go away, that was a cool show when you guys came to town, went on that tour, whenever Ace was over with the LA Guns thing. That was really cool. And Del Mar Hall was the place. And it was August of 2019. Man, it was packed. It was awesome. So Ace went to do LA Guns, and he recommended you take the spot for a while, and which went really well. And you guys went on the road, did all that stuff, and then came through St. Louis, and then now you guys are doing a record. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's kind of the brief sum up of it. Yeah, Ace had hit me up with the opportunity of going out to sub for him, which was really, really cool of him, because you know there's definitely a lot of guitar players that could have done it. So that was really, really nice of him to offer a gig like that to me. And you know, yeah, it went really, really well. It was incredibly fun. It was one of, you know, probably the funnest 2 months of my life. And I know funnest isn't really a word, but I don't care. And yeah, I mean that St. Louis show was just one of the most incredibly special shows. I mean, the guy who sold my parents my first electric guitar was at the show. Like, it's just, there was just standing outside before we actually played, there was just so many people walking up that I knew everybody coming to the gig. And then looking out at the crowd, I was like, this is nuts. The 800 cap or whatever that place holds, it was pretty much filled, and I pretty much personally knew half the room.
Exactly.
And it was incredible. So yeah, I mean that tour was a lot of fun, and you know, the guys have been really, really cool to me, and I've had a blast playing with them. You know, it went pretty well that they didn't want me to leave, so I'm still here. So I'm in the band officially now. You know, but it was all good with Ace, because Ace has, you know, he's been committed to LA Guns now for the last couple of years. And, you know, so everything, you know, everybody's on good terms and all that. And I talk to Ace every single day, basically. And yeah, now we're working on new music. There's been a bunch of music that's been sitting around that Tammy's been going through, that he's been having me play guitars on. And there's a couple of things that are hopefully supposed to come out soon. The first single is, supposed to come out every day. It's kind of like there's different stuff kind of getting figured out with the vinyl and the production of stuff, and everything's been kind of slow naturally because of COVID. There's new music coming, and we've been working on a bunch of stuff. It's a very slow process. Tammy's really thorough, so but it's been a lot of fun getting to work with him, and just honored to be the guy there recording the guitar parts on the song. So
well, I think it's pretty cool because when you think about the fact that, like I said, Pastor Pussycat was around when I was a teenager, first getting into music, with the Motley Crue and Rat and Doc in that time frame. There was a whole different scene back then. And I had one foot in the glam and the hair metal, and I had one foot in the thrash. I mean, with the Anthrax, the Exodus, the Violence, all that good stuff in the early Metallica. And then over here was the Dokken and the Rat, a big Dokken fan. George Lynch is amazing, stuff like that. So I think to take Pastor Pussycat from that time frame and plant them in the last couple of years, and to hit the road and here's Sam Bam out with them, I think it adds that cool youthful mix because that sound came from before, and to have that youth injection in there, I think it kind of levels it out to a good spot that made it even more appealing to people to check it out.
Well, I very much appreciate that. Thank you. But and I think everybody's really going to like the new music because there's elements of everything, so there's certain songs. Again, there's a few songs that have kind of been that are close to being done. There's a couple that are done, and again, like I said, it's a slow process, so it's really, but there's old school elements and there's new school elements. There's little elements here and there of stuff, but then there's plenty of old school elements. So I really think it's going to be something that everybody enjoys.
So these songs that you guys recorded, or so far that you have done so far, is it stuff that was pre-written, or have you put any new input, like hey, throw a few licks on it, or I guess your own?
Yeah, the leads are my own, and I mean, there's Tammy's always open to if I have an idea to make a part better, better being relative, but it's just if I have an idea of oh well maybe this could kind of do this kind of thing. He's always open to me doing that. And then, he's kind of just, I have crazy ideas let me tune my E string down to A, and then I'll play it with the bass wah so it sounds really filtery and ugly. Or okay, let me use the talk box and I'll tune my low string to, just so, and then the solos and stuff, he's, kind of just lets me do whatever, and he'll have ideas here and there, maybe do this kind of thing, or we'll go and run some passes and try different stuff.
But you mentioned earlier a little bit of a tidbit about Gilby Clark.
Yeah, he's been mixing the stuff. So cool. The first single, there's a single and a B-side. So the single, this has been put out there, so I feel like I'm allowed to talk about it. The first single is called Nola.
It's new still. It's still new for you. I got no reason now.
Teenagers cover is the B-side of a song called Pirate Love. So Gilby has mixed those. So it's been really, really cool being able to, I've gone over to his studio at his house a couple times with Tammy to work on the mix, or Chad was recording the drums to Pirate Love. So just kind of, being there to kind of be my job is generally to kind of be the buffer or the communicator, or to also make sure that stuff turns out cool, which, again, I'm like just super honored to not only be there, but to be entrusted with this kind of role, that the guys have put me in. So it's been really, really cool. So yeah, Gilby's mixing the new Pussycat stuff. So it's been really, really cool getting to work hands-on with Gilby, because again, like the Rockstar TV show was, really formative in my early years. And then when I don't know if I've said this much, but when I first got into Guns N' Roses and first figured out who they were, I got the Use Your Illusion DVDs, so those Live in Tokyo DVDs, and it was Gilby. It was the lineup with Gilby and Matt Sorum. So I didn't even know there was somebody before him. I was just like, oh, Gilby's just so cool, So I didn't even know there was Izzy and Steven Adler before that. So it's just kind of cool to be coming full circle from when I was 11 and 12 years old to now being 25, almost 26, and having him mix the guitar parts that I played. It's really cool.